In this video, I'm going to show some examples of how to estimate whole numbers divided by fractions. Because division is just the inverse of multiplication, anytime I'm doing estimates with division with fractions, I like to, in my mind, think of them as multiplication problems. So I'm going to think of this first problem really as 303 times the reciprocal of 2/3, which is 3/2. Then this becomes 3/2 of 303 because the commutative property of multiplication allows me to flip that around. I'm now going to try to find a number that's close to 303 that is compatible with 2, and I'm going to round that to 300. Now in my mind I'm thinking, what is 1/2 of 300? And that's 150, but I don't want just 1/2, I want 3/2. 3/2 will be 3 groups of 150, so 150, then 300, then 450A. Now I've actually written some of this down here, but when you're doing estimates, you want to do them quickly and mentally. If you need to jot down a couple of numbers to help you keep track of the numbers, that's fine, but you shouldn't have to be doing the actual problem. Question 2, I'm going to think of it as 55 times 5/3 because division is multiplying by the reciprocal. So I'm going to think of that as 5/3 of 55. I'm going to look for something that is close to 55 that's compatible with 3. Now I'm going to use 54 because I know that 5 plus 4 is 9 and 3 goes into 9. I know that 1/3 of 54 is 18, and then I want 5 groups of 18, which is 90. Now, you may not have immediately thought of 54. Instead, maybe you thought of 60. If you did 1/3 of 60, you would have gotten 20. 5 groups of 20 is 100. And B would still be your correct answer, because even if your estimate was 100, the most reasonable estimate of those 4 answer choices would be 90. Question 3, I'm going to think of as 36 times the reciprocal of 5/6, which is 6/5, or 6/5 of 36. I want something close to 36 that is compatible with 5. I'm going to use 35. 1/5 of 35 is 7, but I want 6 groups of 7. 6 groups of 7 is 42.